This is Evolutionary Radio. This is your host, Trevor Kouritzin. As always, my co-host, Steve Smith, is joining me.
Hey, guys. What's going on? We have a special guest again on this podcast. We have hopefully a future top 5 Mr. Olympia. He definitely looks at it if you look at his Instagram. Trevor, you want to introduce him?
Joining us today is one big freaking motherfucker. Welcome to the show, IFBB Pro, Charles Griffen.
Hey, how you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, man. So I want to get you on because you're a relatively new pro. I mean, you've only been competing 4 years now. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah,
my
first show was June 2014. That was my first show.
4 years, and you're already at the Mr. Olympia level. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you could say I'm a little bit excited.
So what would you say is the cause of this immense success? You know, most people aren't even cracking top 5 at a local show after 4 years, and you're already at the Olympia level. Would you say it's genetics? Would you say it's work ethic? What would you say? What would you attribute it all to?
I say both. You know, genetics and work ethic. You know, there's a lot of people out here that has good genetics, but they don't got the work ethic. And somebody with subpar genetics and with the work ethic could pass them. But you know, I got, some crazy genetics and my crazy work ethic. You put those together, that's where that's what you get. You know what I mean? So, I put it to both of them, genetics and the crazy work ethic.
So before we dig too much further in that, Charles, tell us a little bit about your past. Where did you grow up? Were you into sports growing up? Did you play football? When was it when you really knew, hey, I have this gift for bodybuilding?
Man, I was always an athletic kid, played sports, all kind of sports growing up, and baseball, track, football, all through high school. And then I was a smaller guy, you know what I mean? I was real small, so when I played football in high school, they didn't give me the time I needed because they discouraged me because I was smaller. So I played basketball. I was a 3-year letterman on basketball. Played track, ran track 1 year, and I didn't use my athletic ability. I wanted to party in high school. I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that. I didn't want to put the grind in into to me being a smaller guy. I needed to work out. I needed to do this. I needed to do that. And I didn't put that time in. So, I didn't use my genetics or all this when I was growing up. And,
Okay. Where did you grow up, by the way?
I grew up in Arizona, Avondale, Arizona. That's where I grew up at.
Is that like near Phoenix or where is that at?
It's like, 10 minutes west of Phoenix, 5 minutes, 10 minutes west of Phoenix. Very close.
Okay.
Very close. Yeah.
So it must have been a very dry place, huh?
Very dry place. They wanted me to go play football out in the summertime in that heat. I'm like, I'd rather go to a pool party. I'd rather go here. I'd rather go there. I don't want to be in 100-degree weather playing football. You know what I mean? So
where are you now?
I'm in Minnesota now. I've been in Minnesota now for 9 years. I moved to Minnesota 9 years ago, and this is where I'm at now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a good bodybuilding culture over there? Are you near like Minneapolis or something? Or
I'm in Minneapolis. I'm in Minneapolis. We got a good fitness here, but you win an overall in Minnesota and you go to the nationals like I just won an overall. I'm about to go get my pro card. You're going to get a rude awakening, you know what I mean? The competition out here in bodybuilding is not the best competition when it comes to bodybuilding. So my first national show, I went to North Americans, and I'm like, I just won my first show, my overall. I'm about to go get my pro card. I walked up on a guy, and I asked him, what are you, a heavyweight? He said, no, I'm a middleweight. I was like, oh, man, these boys is big, you know what I mean? So Minnesota didn't prepare me for what I was coming to that national stage, you know what I mean?
So Florida, New York, California, those are probably the big guys,
Texas,
right?
Yeah, Texas. Those are the cream of the crop, and that's when I meet a lot of guys I go against the nationals. That's where they all were coming from. You know what I mean?
Charles, not all of our listeners compete, but all of them are, athletes. They're at least like gym bodybuilders, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I always tell people, go to an expo. Go to the Olympia Expo, go to the Arnold Expo. You think you're jacked. You walk into that expo for 5 minutes and you're like, holy smokes, I am small and fat.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me. I was on a high thinking I'm about to go get my pro card, and I placed 8th at my first national show, which is not bad, but I was angry because I'm Mr. Minnesota. I should be getting my pro card, but nope. You know, those guys on a national level, on a different level.
Charles, are you doing your own diet and training, or do you have a coach helping you?
No, I have a coach. I had one coach since I competed. From my 2014 up until Indy this year, I had one coach. His name was Tim Johnson, and we just kept missing it. We just kept missing it. The judges kept saying, I need to be sharper. I need to be this. I need to be that. So my time is now. So what I had to do was I had to make that move and switch coaches. So I switched coaches to Matt Johnson, and I did my first prep with him, getting ready for the Muscle Mayhem. And we took that, you know, my first prep with him. I got in there, took first place, and got my Olympia qualification.
So you said Matt, he's coming on the show on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, yep.
I wanted to ask you, guys can go on your Instagram right now and look up Charles Griffen. You guys can see what he looks like. But what are your age and stats, Charles, so guys can get a visualization, those who can't see Instagram right now?
My age is I'm 36. My height, I'm 5'9". You know, off-season weight, I get up to about 275. And stage weight, I'm anywhere between like 235 to 245. You know what I mean? That's my stage weight. I'm looking to be like 240-something this Olympia. So I'm looking to be significantly heavier than what I was at my last pro show.
And you guys watching the video, Charles could easily eat Steve and myself as a post-workout snack.
Yeah, that would be a good snack.
No, I mean, I'm skin and bones, man. I'm just so Charles, Matt is known as being one of the best coaches in the business. What was the difference between him and your former coach? Like, why did you get such good results with Matt versus your former coach? Was it just a completely different approach?
Completely different approach. You know, my old coach was always the first person he worked with like me. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy for someone like me to get me in shape and get me to win and get my pro card or place top 5 in a national show. But, you know, when it comes to winning shows and getting me to that next level, Matt has worked with freak of natures, bodybuilders like myself. You know, he worked with people like that. So the amount of attention he pays to details and little this and little that, like, when I was out there the day before, 2 days before my show, I didn't have to worry about nothing. You know, Matt it's just crazy how when he sent me my first plan, I was like, oh my God, what is this? I had to make bullet points by every section that I had questions by because it was just a whole nother level. It was like my coach that I was with before, he's a great coach, couldn't have got this far without him, but it was like I had a college coach, now I got a Bill Belichick, you know what I mean? And that's what it comes to be like. Matt is he's a genius at what he does.
Interesting. So it's roughly about 4 weeks to Olympia. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. 4 weeks today. Yep, 4 weeks today.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. You know what I mean? This was the hardest week right here. You know, I started getting that gorilla jumped on my back. I started getting tired. You know what I mean? Legs starting to get heavy, everything like that. So when I say I feel good, is that I'm starting to feel tired and fatigued. But you know, that's good. The worse you feel when you're going into the show, the better you're gonna look. But I feel great. I'm confident in what we're bringing, and I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Any idea, Charles? Like, I know it's hard to predict, but I don't follow bodybuilding that personally, but we do these podcasts. We interview a lot of these guys, so I'm always rooting for the guys we get on our podcast. So, what can we expect out of you in this Olympia?
Top 10. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for top 10. Okay. You know what I mean? Realistically, my realistic goal, I train for first, I eat for first place, I do this and I do that, but it's going to be 19 of the top bodybuilders on that stage. So I got to be realistic with myself and see where I think I can land at, you know what I mean? And what my realistic goal for me is anywhere from 8th to 10th place, or, you know, because that top 7 right now is deadly. That top 7, top 8 is deadly, but I'm deadly too, but this is the Mr. Olympia, so my realistic pick is just top 10. Wherever I lie at in that top 10, that's what I'm trying to do.
There's also a lot of politics involved, Charles. Like, you really got to pay your dues. I mean, like, unless you absolutely destroy the competition, you're not going to make the first Olympia.
Exactly.
I mean, like, look at all the best Olympians. Look at Ronnie Coleman. Look at Jay Cutler. They all got pretty much dead last their first Olympia.
Yes, sir. Yep. You know, Ronnie won his first Olympia at age 34 years old, so He was placing 9th, 10th, 11th. So yeah, that politics plays a big part in it, and the Olympia might be the most political show that it could be. So that's my realest goal. But I know some people that deserve top 10 when they went to their first Olympia and they fell out of that top 10. So I know that that's a possibility, but my realistic goal for me is in that top 10, wherever that might land.
Who's your best friend out of the top 7?
Out of the top 7, who I'm rooting for, you mean? Like, what do you mean?
No, just like, do you talk to any of these guys? Like, message them and, hey, what's up, bro? Give each other a call every now and then.
Look, out of the top guys, I message, I talk to a couple of them, this and that. But if I'm gonna say the person I'm closest with or talk to would be Nathan Diasha. Nathan Diasha uses Matt Jensen, so we're on the same team. So if I'm closer to anybody on there, it's gonna be Matt Johnson, just because we're like using the same coach and so forth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
How is the camaraderie at the Mr. Olympia level? Are you guys like all bros and backstage you're all like really nice to each other, or is it you guys are kind of like buying each other out? And
I don't know how it is at the Olympia, but with the other pro shows, it's a little bit quiet before prejudging. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to get that first caller. They're trying to get this and they're trying to get that. Then after prejudging's over, then that mood changes a little bit. And then, people start to loosen up a little bit, this and that. But, me, I'm going in there to handle business. Every time I go there and I'm backstage joking around, doing this, doing that, something, I'm always missing something. So me, I'm going in there with my head. Before the Olympia press conference, I'm enjoying this, enjoying that. But when we're backstage, I'm focused. I'm trying to get a paycheck. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get that top 10. I'm trying to put my name on the map. I'm really trying to make myself a name in this bodybuilding. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do.
You know what I noticed, Charles? I noticed that when you're backstage, the guys are super nice to one another. Like, let's say someone forgot their oil or something, another guy will be like, oh yeah, here, use mine. The guys are very, very friendly. It's the women, man. They're like stealing each other's makeup. They're like hiding each other's heels. Like going like, oh, that's your outfit? You really chose those colors? Like, it's the women, man. It's like
cutthroat. Those women are cutthroat. We have each other's back there. We know we all put this 16 weeks of prep, 12 weeks of prep. We all put this work in to get there. So, we all gonna, we gonna help each other out, this and that. But I still want to beat him and he still wants to beat me, but we're going to make sure we take care of each other. You know what I mean?
So that brings me to my next question, Charles. Like, this is a very, very hard sport. It's a very selfish sport. Are you currently married, single, dating anyone?
Yeah, I'm dating someone. I'm dating my girlfriend is Megan. Her name is Megan Gove. She competed. She just did nationals last year. So she understands the bodybuilding world and, understand it could be a selfish sport, this and that. And, she has my back. I've been with her now almost 2 years, so she's been with me since my pro debut. She's the one in the background making life that much easier for me as I'm trying to, get to the Olympia stage and, get to where I'm trying to get at in this sport. So she has my back. But actually, after I'm done with this podcast, I take off to go pick her up, and she's going back to school for a year. So she's going to be moving away like 3.5 hours. So, I'm going to be on my own for a little bit. So that's what that's about.
Where is she going to school?
She's going to school in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. She's going to a nursing program. She has her master's already her bachelor's in biology or something like that. So now she's going back to get another bachelor's in nursing. She wants to be a nurse. So she's got 2 years of school condensed down in 1 year. So that's what she's about to go do.
Yeah. Nursing's a good program. Healthcare is something we're always going to need.
Always going to need, yeah. And, with her, we could move anywhere we want, and there need nurses everywhere, and I could move my business with me anywhere I go. So, man, we don't know if we'll be in Minnesota in the next coming years.
If you ever want to travel, like if you ever want to go internationally, there's like nurses abroad programs where they will pay for you to relocate and everything.
I don't know about living internationally. I don't know about that. I wouldn't want to live internationally. I wouldn't want to do that.
I like French girls.
See, I can't like French girls that go here out there, then that might get me in trouble. You know what I mean?
So, Charles, what did you do in your 20s? Because you've only been a pro a few years now.
All I did was party, man. My whole life, all I did was party.
Really? Okay.
And what I did was I lost my mother back in 2012, October, from a dissecting coronary artery. And that sent me off. That sent me in a different world. You know, I was on death row, doing a lot of drugs, doing a lot of alcohol, not caring about life, and, you know, just didn't care about what was going on in life, you know what I mean? Because I lost my mother. So it was at her like a year or so after me losing her, I just woke up one day and I was looking, well, I wasn't even asleep. I just looked at myself, said, I need to change, man. I was doing cocaine. I was popping pills. I was riding my motorcycle 150 miles per hour with alcohol in my system. And I was either going to die or get myself in trouble, and I needed to make a change. And basically I needed some discipline and structure put back in my life. And that's what brought me to bodybuilding. Everybody was like, man, you got to look for bodybuilding. You should do bodybuilding. I'm not getting on stage in those little draws and them little bikini things and this and that. That's what I thought, you know, that's what I said to myself. So I always put that on the back burner. But after I fell off, after my mom passed away, it was real hard on me. And bodybuilding is about discipline and structure. And I was like, man, you know what? Let me try to do this bodybuilding thing. And that's when I started prepping for my first show. And I was depressed and hated life from October 2012 until June 2014. When I won my first bodybuilding show, it was like my mom was telling me, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Live life, enjoy life, and this is what you do. And ever since that day, I've been able to help my friends and help other people that's lost their mom or lost this. I've been able to use my life experiences to help them. And, you know, I've been going 100 miles per hour in it, man, and I'm loving life right now. You know what I mean? So that bodybuilding saved my life. So that's why I've made these big strides in 4 years, because this sport saved my life. And, you know, I'm doing what I can to make something out of it.
So someone basically, you just said, hey, I need to make a change. And someone just said, hey, man, you have a good body for bodybuilding. So you just sign up for a gym and you were hooked from there.
You know,
is that what happened?
They told me years before, you know, all months before my mom died, years before my mom died, you need to try bodybuilding. You need to try bodybuilding. You got the look, you this and that. And I just kept it on the back burner. And once I felt that I needed to make a change in my life, and I was like, what will put some discipline, structure, and principles and stuff in my life? And I was like, bodybuilding. And I just got back in the gym, man, and started training and got ready for my first show. I really did like my first prep. I did my first prep by myself. My first coach helped me the last 2 weeks of prep, helped me bring it in, but I did my first prep by myself. And, you know, and I won I was light heavyweight, weighed in at 189 pounds, and I won the overall. So that's where I am.
Do you have a lot of relatives who are like bodybuilders or into a lot of sports? Like, do you have uncles and stuff who, you know, did football and all that stuff?
Yeah, my family is very athletic family. We got a real athletic family. You know, we're some genetic.
Any professionals, like professional athletes among them, or?
Yeah, I got a professional athlete. My brother's a professional athlete. My brother plays for the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah. I know him. Okay. Yeah. The same last name, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I know him. Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Steve's into football. I'm over in Canada. We only really care about hockey here.
Well, they care about hockey in Minnesota too. So
yeah.
Well,
I'm in Winnipeg. I'm not that far from you.
You're in Winnipeg? Okay. Yeah. I wanted to do the Canada show, but you know, I got a DUI on my record, and I was a little afraid that if I put all this work in and I go to the airport and I get turned around, so I didn't do the show this year in Canada because I had those DUIs that I was worried it was going to affect me from getting into the state, so into the country. So that's what that is.
If you would have driven down, you probably wouldn't have had any problems.
Yeah, that's what a couple guys that reached out to me that done that, but that's like an 18, 19-hour drive. I wasn't about that life. So I just pushed it back and got ready for the Muscle Mayhem. Yeah.
Canada, it's actually very hard to get a pro card because only the overall gets it.
Yeah. And a lot of the countries, that's how it is. You know, a lot of them they just provide it to the overall winner. Yep.
Well, we had Troy Brown on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and in all of England, they give out one pro card per year.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
Like
So I went and got my pro card 2015. I won the heavyweight class, but I lost it in the overall. So, yep. Yes, sir. But, you know, that's what Nathan Diasha was talking to me about, that that's how they do it in the UK. He's like, only the overall winners get it, you know, in there. He's like, they give too many pro cards out in the US. That's what a lot of people say.
Nathan, is he currently in Kuwait?
No, he's not with Kuwait no more. He's with my coach, Matt Jansen. He's actually living out there with Matt Jansen for like the 7 weeks out to Olympia. He's out there living with Matt Jansen. So I get to leave out. I go drop my girl off to school today and come back Saturday, and I leave Sunday to go out there to Tennessee to train with my coach, to train with Matt Jansen and Nathan as well.
How'd you link up with Matt? Did you reach out to him or?
You know, it's just somebody I've been looking, you know, following their career, following his coaching and stuff like that. And we met a couple times, and, you know, when I seen him out there in Indy, he was like, you know, he was excited how I looked, and he was like, yeah, you just need to come in a little sharper, this and that, and that. He's like, or else it would have been lights out. And I just been following Matt, and once I didn't get that win at Indy, I reached out to Matt, and he was like, yes. He said, I'd love to help you out. Man, let's do it. And I talked to my other coach and let him know what I'm doing, and now here we are getting ready for Olympia, me and Matt.
Did you ever watch those Camp Jansen videos you did with Dallas McCarver?
Yeah, I used to watch all that.
Epic training footage in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir. Very good stuff.
Tell us a little bit about BPI. So you recently signed with BPI. What made you pick BPI out of all the different supplement companies out there?
Man, you know, I was talking to a couple supplement companies, but BPI has a good name in the business. You know what I mean? They've been growing ever since I've been following bodybuilding and knowing about this. BPI has been a big name out there, and you know, their products. You know what I mean? They use quality the ingredients they use, and you know, they got the third party that verifies their supplements, the quality verified product. You know, it was an easy choice for me. It was an easy choice for me to go with them. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I found out it was a possibility of me being signed with them, I did my research. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure. I just don't want to be behind a company because I'm getting a check and I'm getting free supplements. It's going to be easier for me to promote a company and yell about a company if I really understand and know what this company is about and their products. When you're taking their products, you're getting exactly what that label says. You're not getting this spike protein. You're not getting this fillers. You're not getting this garbage in it. So what's on their label, that's what you're getting. And why wouldn't you want to be with a company that, you know, that supplies top of the line product?
Being 4 weeks out, are you using a lot of supplements right now, or is it pretty minimal?
I'm using a lot of supplements. You know, I'm using the protein, I'm using the CLA, I'm using the BCAAs, the pre-workout. So yeah, I'm still using a lot of supplements.
And then Charles, are you bodybuilding full time? Do you also prep people?
Yeah, I also prep people, but you know, I'm not like these other coaches that could have 1 million clients and bodybuild and do this. I can't do that, you know. So I got a close knit of like 6 to 8 people I coach. But then I do personal training. Now, doing personal training and changing these clients' diets, that's easy. But when you're coaching clients, you really need to give them that time, this and that. So I know that I can't handle a lot of coaching clients. So I got a small group of clients, but then I do have a roster of personal training clients. That's easy for me to do. So
are those – I was going to say, are those also pro bodybuilders, or are they just normal Joes that you train?
Just normal Joes.
Okay, cool. So they're just guys, you know, at the gym and stuff that hire you?
Yeah, guys and girls at the gym. Okay. Yeah, girls at the gym.
So a lot of our listeners are normal Joes, you know, because let's face it, 99% of this industry, you know, we're just normal Joes like me and Trevor. We're not pros. I mean, Trevor is a pro, but he's not competing anymore. So help some of us out. Like, what are some tips that you give to guys who come to you who need help with their training and diet? What are some of the first things they need to correct to kind of make improvements?
Being consistent. Consistency. That's the biggest thing, you know, being consistent and knowing that you might have to miss out on a little bit of stuff that other people is doing if you want these results. You know what I mean? So basically, you might have to, you know, not do this because you want these results. So best thing is what I preach to them is being consistent. You know, that's the most important thing you can preach is being consistent, because you can be consistent 2 days, but then the next 2 days you fall off. That's not going to get you anywhere. So you just got to be consistent.
How regularly do you work out, Charles? Like right now it's pre-contest, so that's not
I work out. I'm 5 days on, 2 days off. That's what I do. 5 days on, 2 days off. Yep. I was going for a long time. I was going 6 days a week, but then when I got with Matt, we changed up a little training, lifting a little heavier, pushing to failure, and you know we was going to grow a little bit, so we implemented 2 rest days and you know work out 5 days.
So on those 2 rest days, what are you doing?
I do cardio and then basically I'm just training clients all day, and I go get my body worked on, chiropractic, go get some Grafton done. You know, I do my repairs on my body on those days off, since I got a little more free time on my hands. So I go treat my body right. You know what I mean? Okay. I've got a lot more years of this competing left in me.
Talk to us a little bit about diet, Charles. What's your diet looking like now, 4 weeks out?
Diets right now is like real little carbs. You know, we got about 30 grams of carbs per meal and eating a lot of protein. So I'm eating like 9 to 10 ounces of protein per meal with 30 grams of carbs right now. And I'm doing that 6 meals a day. So, you know, protein is the building block of muscle. So we're making sure we got a lot of protein coming in, and, you know, we got a little carbs. We're surviving on, you know, very little carbs right now so we could bring that nastiness in 4 weeks.
For our listeners, that might sound like a lot of food, but you have to remember, Charles is 250 pounds.
Yeah, and you start to feel that 30, so that's 30 times, just say 30 times 5, 150. So I'm probably about 170 carbs, and for me, that's nothing. You know what I mean? That once you get that 4 or 5 days of 170 carbs or 150 carbs, you start feeling a little tired. You know, legs start feeling heavy and stuff. So yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do, Charles? Like, what do you do when you're hungry and you're tired? Like, where does your sense of motivation come from? Because that's the number one excuse I hear, you know, people is they fall off their diet because I'm hungry or I'm tired or I had a long day at work. Like, where does your motivation come from?
Man, just wanting to be the best, you know what I mean? Wanting to provide for myself. And, you know, like a lot of people look at bodybuilding as a hobby. I look at it as like my career. So what if I'm going to do this, you know, me being hungry, I better drink some water and wait a couple hours till that next meal is coming in. But it's just me wanting to be the best and me wanting to be one of the best bodybuilders out there. That's my motivation. So when I'm hungry and tired, don't want to work out because I'm tired, do I want to be one of the best? Yes. So I'm going to put that work in, or I'm not going to go out here and cheat on my diet and I'm going to be hungry. Or if I got to force feed, I'm going to force feed because I want to be one of the best out there. So that's what it is. That's my motivation. For me, wanting to be the best out there, I got to do what I got to do.
Talk to us a little bit, Charles, about the new divisions. What are your thoughts about men's physique, classic physique?
Men's physique, men's physique, to be honest, I don't really know a lot of men. I don't pay attention to that. I'm going to just be honest. I don't pay attention to the men's physique. Classic physique is cool. I like classic physique. A lot of guys that are bodybuilders, I feel, are taking an easy route out and going to classic physique because they don't want to put that time in to become a bodybuilder or to put the right size on, this and that. So I think they're taking a shortcut. And for those guys, I got no respect for. But some of the guys that their body is just classic and they can't never be on a big open class bodybuilder level or 212 level. So classic is, I like classic. I like classic for the guys that belong in classic, but the guys that don't belong in classic and just see an easy way out, I don't have no respect for that.
What you said is true. I mean, I won my pro card in physique, and it's way easier to win a pro card in physique. I mean, you can win a pro card in physique if you've trained a couple of years, you got a nice look to your face, you got a nice six-pack. It's the easy way out. I mean, it's true. And the sad thing is that that's where all the money is. If you look at all the big companies, they're sponsoring men's physique guys because they're more marketable.
Yep. But they're more marketable, but they ain't there. Everybody's coming to Olympia to see us. You know what I mean? That's what they want to see. They want to come see us. They're more marketable. I wouldn't say that the only reason why the people are working with them because they're going to take a little bit of nothing just to get a free supplement, or they put their face on this magazine, so they're going to take a little bit of nothing. But open class bodybuilder that's working and grinding knows their worth, and they just not to go out there and do anything because they want what they're worth. You know what I mean? So these physique guys are just, yeah, they're going to put my picture on this. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take that. Yeah, this and that. So that's why companies are working with them, I feel, that because they just want to get their face out there. So they will do whatever they want. They'll do whatever for a free jug of protein, basically.
Do you have any children, Charles?
No, I do not.
Okay. If you did have a child, like a kid, would you want him growing up bodybuilding too? Or would you be kind of hands off and be like, hey, do what you want? Because some bodybuilders say, yeah, I don't want them doing it. It's a very hard, No,
I wouldn't want them. If my kid, I wouldn't want them doing bodybuilding. I would want them to do something else.
And why is that?
I think it's more better stuff out there for someone to do to make a living for their life, for themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Bodybuilding for me, and it's not for everybody else. You know what I mean? So I would preach to go do something else besides bodybuilding.
Okay, that's an honest answer. I like that.
Yep.
So Charles, we're pretty much at the end of our interview. Where can our listeners find you? Give us your social media. Do you have a website, anything like that?
Charles Griffen _ IFBB Pro on Instagram. Charles Griffen on Facebook. My website is Charles Griffen, www.charlesgriffen.com. They can find me all over there. They can come find me in 4 weeks at the Olympia. I'll be at the BPI booth. We're going to be having a full workout station for people to come work out and to train with us. They can also go to BPI's and log on and click on to train with me, get a chance to win and train with me. They can find me wherever. I'm all over the internet.
I truly respect guys like you, Charles, because you're 4 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia. You're running on fumes. And you still have time to do all this social media, all these podcasts. Like, I know how draining that is. Like, right now, you probably want to be in bed having a nap.
Yeah, but you know what? I love this, man. When people say I don't feel like I'm working, man, because I love this, man. This saved my life, man. Bodybuilding saved my life. So I just love doing this, man. So I'm putting my all into this, and, this is just what I love to do, man. I wake up, I go to sleep, I'm a bodybuilder. That's what I do, you know what I mean?
I like your message, because there's a lot of guys listening right now, they know their teens and 20s who are going down a wrong path. And they see your story, they go on your Instagram and see what you look like. See, I was shocked when you said that, because looking at your pictures, I'm thinking you've been probably bodybuilding since you were 8 years old, the way you look. But now people who are in their teens and 20s who are going the wrong path, they can see that and be like, wow, I can actually change my life. And in 4 years from now, be on the Mr. Olympia stage getting top 10. So that's amazing.
That's what I do, man. I just share my story and show them, and they might not be a bodybuilder, you know what I mean? They might see my story and they might be a good basketball player, a good football player, or they might be a freaking genius at school. So if they see my story, whatever their craft is, whatever skill they're good at, if they hear my story, they might go and do something else. It might not be bodybuilding. It might be knitting or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I like to share my story with whoever, and it might I don't know who is helping. I don't know who is helping. So by me sharing my story and helping people, I'm winning already. You know what I mean? So me placing top 10 Olympia, that's a cherry on the top. You know what I mean?
I don't know if we have any knitters listening to our podcast. I get what you're saying. No, it's true. Like, sometimes I'll watch like a football movie before a leg workout. And I mean, like, I'm not going to go play football, but you watch that like underdog story, you watch that like team ethic, that whole, like, it gets you fired up. Same thing, like watching like a boxing fight or something before a leg day. It gets you all in the zone.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So for our listeners, Charles is a pro. Give him a like on social media, give him a follow. He's posting some really good stuff. Me and Steve aren't exaggerating. He's one big motherfucker. I hope you get the placing you deserve. Like I said, there's a lot of politics at the Olympia level, but you're definitely going to shock a lot of people. I mean, just looking at your photos at 4 weeks out, holy smokes, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, my man.
So Charles, before you go, I'm a big football fan. You got to give me the picks, man. Who you got? Who you got going to the Super Bowl this year?
Man, you know what? I used to be a big football guy, man. Now I just don't even know, man. I don't even know, man. I'm not even going to say the Vikings. I don't know who it is, man. You know, I'm so into my sport and doing what I'm doing, man. I don't even watch basketball, football like that anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just, if I got time to sit and watch that, I got time to do a client's diet or do a new this and new that. So I'm not even really into the football like that no more, man. Like I said.
The last guy we had on, he's going to Mr. Olympia 212, and he's favored to be like top 3. He said the same thing. He's like, I don't do anything except bodybuilding. You got to have your mind on it 100%. So I totally get it. Yeah.
You talking about Derek Lungford?
Yeah, we had him on.
Yeah, Dude, cool guy. Yeah.
You know he's 23?
Yeah, he's a baby, man. He's a baby. But you know what?
20.
Like a lot of these guys are younger than me. They're younger than me, but they've been beating up their body longer than me, and they've been on stuff way longer than me. So, you know what I mean? I might be 36, but really these guys is 28, 27. They've been doing it way longer than me, lifting crazy weights, putting all this in their body.
Listen to the interview we did with Derek Lunsford. I mean, the guy's 23. He's extremely well-spoken, extremely professional. Like, I would not have guessed he was 23. I would have guessed he was 33.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He got a lot of potential.
He answered every question perfectly. When you're like, do you think you're going to kick Flex Lewis's ass? He said, I'm training to win. I have I want the best for Flex, but obviously I want to beat him. Like, he answered every question perfectly. It wasn't the thing like an 18-year-old would say. It's like, yeah, I'm going to beat that motherfucker up. Like, he was totally professional with everything.
Yeah.
Okay, Charles, we're wishing you the best of luck. 4 weeks. Keep grinding, man. For your host, Trevor Kouritzin, for my co-host, Steve Smeaton, for our special guest, IFBB show, Charles Griffen. This is another episode of Evolutionary Radio. Live your life. Look good doing it. Thanks for listening.